Right, James. Well, let's just discuss some of these changes. Like I said, there's been 8 changes to the starting 15. Damien Delendi is now back in the midfield. Jesse Creel shifts out. So they're obviously retaining Jean de Villiers as captaincy. We'll touch on that later. But Dwayne Vermeulen's back. Got Arjen Strauss at hooker. He's playing his 50th game. Bismarck's not on the bench. Skalkbrits is the backup hooker. What do you think about some of those changes?
Yeah, I think the 8 changes are certainly positive. Every Springbok side, I think, will always have a lot of criticism around the team selections. I do believe that the changes are for the better. Again, some form players are not there, like Alert de Jager. Jean has done the country proud. I don't think he's really a form player, but maybe from the leadership skills, they believe he adds a lot more value. Damien, it's nice to see him back because he's definitely a form player and has been for the Stormers. So we've got a very settled back row. It's nice to see Skalk back in his favourite number 7 jersey, and obviously Dwayne Vermeulen, a great impact player. I think from having Dwayne back in the side, he'll certainly get us over the advantage line, which is something we've been lacking.
In your department, like I touched on at number 2, do you think Arjen Strauss is the sort of horses for courses hooker?
It's quite interesting. I have to make this comment on air. It's I remember in my generation, I had to be the best in South Africa to play. Now you've got hookers playing first and second fiddle, and they're amassing 50+ test matches. So. It's nice to see that the competition is good between Bismarck and Adrian, and hopefully let it be healthy for the team and not unhealthy. Like I said, when a team is losing, you tend to find fault with everything. But what's important, or at least I have to express the following opinion, is that the coach needs to make the players start understanding who's really number 1, who's his best 15, and let the other reserves understand that they're number 2. Because if you don't have that and that clarity, nobody really thrives in a positive environment. And I found that in my years of Test match rugby, the success was knowing who was number 1 and who was number 2.
And then the front row, I mean, there's been a lot of criticism about Heineke Meyer's sort of tendency to keep the experienced guys, being sort of called fossils and old crocs and whatever, your Matfields and your Banners and, Beast and Yanni in the front row. Do you think they still are 2 best props?
Well, I mean, you've got a guy like Steven Kitshoff, who shot the lights out in his performances in the super competition. I mean, he's scrummaging from his overall support play to his defence. Yanni's taken a lot of criticism on his defence. But, again, we're a proud nation. We become fixated. We win lineouts, we win scrums, we think we win test matches. We're not winning test matches, or at least we sometimes stumbling. So, again, I don't entirely agree with the opinion of the seniority. It was always going to be a case for Heineke of either it was going to work for him or it was not going to work for him taking senior players. And so far, it's backfired a little bit, but I don't see it as being entirely a dark place.
Well, all is not lost, James. Of course, the Boks can still finish top of their pool and qualify for the quarterfinals and maybe the semi-finals. Believe you're going to be there for the semi-finals and the final for a little Springbok reunion. Tell us about that. Yeah,
we've got our 20-year reunion, which means I'm 20 years older. And we've got a dinner in the UK for the team. So we're going over for the semi-finals, and I'll be staying for the final and going to support the Boks, who will hopefully be in those playoff stages.
And how many from that class of 95 are going to be there?
I think pretty much 90% of them. Well, we'll soon enough find out. So it will be like taking us 20 years back, and hopefully we can enjoy the time and the experience.
And fingers crossed you'll have...
Not enjoy the rand versus the pound, but nonetheless the experience.
Well, let's hope the Springboks are there in the semis.
Absolutely.
Great, James. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Nick.